Good afternoon. This is the meeting of the Public Safety Committee. With us this afternoon is Councillor Giannino, Councillor Guinasso, Councillor Keefe, and Councillor McKenna. We have one issue to discuss. It's the motion presented by Councillor McKenna and Giannino that the mayor request the Traffic Commission to order various amendments to Title 10 of the Revised Ordinances of the City of Revere. I'll first call on Councillor McKenna, co-maker of the motion.
So what we want to do is we want to try to improve the parking around Revere. Everybody knows that we have a parking problem. So we want to eliminate some of the problems. And one of the problems is commercial vehicles. We have 10 sections in this motion, and we're going to have the clerk. Madam Clerk, can you read the sections? Thank you.
Section 1 of the proposed ordinance, Section 10.32.210 of the Revised Ordinances of the City of Revere, overnight parking of commercial vehicles, auto homes, mobile homes, boat trailers, is hereby amended by deleting said section in its entirety and inserting in place thereof the following new section. Section 10.32.210 of the Revised Ordinances of the City of Revere, overnight parking of commercial vehicles, oversized passenger vehicles, auto homes, mobile homes, recreational vehicles, boat trailers, and certain plates. No driver shall park or stand any commercial vehicle or trailer, combined vehicle and trailer, semi-trailer, oversized passenger vehicle, auto home, mobile home, recreational vehicle, boat trailer, transporter plates, repair plates, or dealer plates between the hours of 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. on any day or at any time on Sunday on any part of any street, highway, road, or parkway under control of the city where parking or standing a vehicle is not otherwise prohibited, provided that this regulation shall not apply during the actual loading or unloading of materials. The penalty for a violation of this section, oh, I'm sorry, that should be deleted. That's a typo. Subsection A of Section 1. Oversized passenger vehicles shall be defined as any vehicle with passenger plates in excess of 18 feet in length and or 7 feet in height. Section 2, new section 10.32.211, commercial vehicle parking. Application for permit is inserted into Title 10 of the Revised Ordinances of the City of Revere as follows. Subject to the following conditions, a resident may apply for a commercial vehicle parking permit under these conditions. 1, a valid business certificate must be on file with the city clerk's office for the business associated with the commercial vehicle. 2, commercial vehicle shall be registered to a Revere address. 3, vehicle shall be under 10,000 pounds gross manufacturer's weight. 4, vehicle shall have less than 6 wheels. 5, the traffic division of the police department shall inspect the size of the vehicle and provide a recommendation on an approved form to the parking clerk on whether said vehicle meets the size criteria. 6, 1 commercial vehicle permit will be issued per household. 7, permit shall only be valid on the street in which the vehicle is registered. 8, cost of the permit shall be $420 per calendar year. Permit shall expire on December 31st each year. If permit is lost or stolen, permit will not be replaced under any circumstances. Section 3, Schedule 7 of Title 10. Sidewalk parking is hereby amended by deleting Schedule 7 in its entirety. Section 4, 10.32.050, resident parking. Application for a sticker is hereby amended by deleting subsection E in its entirety. E, there shall be resident parking permits for commercial vehicles where the following circumstances exist. 1, the commercial vehicle is registered to a Revere address that is otherwise entitled to a resident sticker. And 2, the vehicle of the size allowed to park at all times on the city, less than 6 wheels, carrying capacity of less than 1 ton, and a gross vehicle weight of less than 10,000 pounds. That section I read it's proposed to be deleted from the city ordinances. Section 5, Schedule 1 of Title 10, Parking Penalties, Group C, $25, is hereby amended by deleting C17, Overnight Parking of Commercial Vehicles. Section 6, Schedule 1 of Title 10, Parking Penalties, Group D, $50, is hereby amended by inserting D17, Overnight Parking of Commercial Vehicles, Oversized Passenger Vehicles, RV, and other plate or vehicle types as defined by Revere Revised Ordinances 10.32.210. Section 7, Ordinance amendments shall take effect on July 1st, 2017.
Anything further, Counselor?
No, I'd like to, because Madam Giannino, Councillor Giannino, is a part of this amendment, this ordinance. I'd like for her to say something too.
I was going to call on her next if you were
okay.
done.
Okay, I'm done. Yes,
Councillor
thanks.
Giannino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Councillor McKenna. I think this is definitely a necessary motion for the City of Revere, and it's a start to addressing a much bigger problem. So Councillor McKenna and myself have been working on this along with Sergeant Giannino and the Traffic Commission and our current parking clerk to try to figure out what the best solution is to this issue and what the easiest area to tackle first without necessarily affecting the residential parking issue, which is a whole separate issue. So by beginning on working on commercial vehicles, it's going to alleviate a lot of the overnight issues that parts of the city face. So near MBTA stations, near transit areas in the city. So by starting here, I think we're taking the first step in addressing a much bigger problem. So I want to thank Councillor McKenna for her hard work and our city clerk, Ashley Melnick, for also advising us in her experience as parking clerk. So I look forward to working on it. Oh, and the chief, of course, Chief Caffarelli, and several members of the police department, which help us get this through. So I look forward to working on it in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Guinasso.
Mr. Chairman, it certainly is a breath of fresh air to see something like this presented to the City Council. I'm very pleased to be part of the subcommittee. I would just like to add one thing to Section 1. This is subtitle B, and it's in reference to these pickup trucks that are inundating our community. And what it is we have a new trend going on within the community, Mr. Chairman, whereas people purchase these pickup trucks and they do these side jobs and they do jobs all over the cities and towns, wherever they might do, where they have these big ladders and they have the, in the wintertime, they have snow plows on the back of their trucks that they can, the snow blowers in the back of their trucks. And in the summertime, they have landscaping equipment in the back of these trucks, and they park them all over the community. It's unsightly at best, and it's unfair to the residents of our community who aren't using our city streets for their own personal gain. And these are, in effect, in the wisdom of the RMV, they allow these trucks to be classified, some of them as a residential commercial, non-commercial pieces of equipment, which is so wrong, it's unbelievable. But what I'd like to offer to the subcommittee is that subtitle B, whereas passenger vehicles shall not have any ladders, construction equipment, and landscaping equipment visible. And that's clearly would prohibit those individuals from ruining our community. The aesthetic value of our city, our streets are becoming terrible, based on the fact that all you see all throughout the city, pickup trucks, loaded with equipment. I have it right in my own area. I have on Lowell Street, adjacent to where I live, there are 4 pickup trucks there. 4, you know. And Lowell Street, mind you, is a very small street. And what has it done to the aesthetic value of our community? And these people come in jockeying at night to place their vehicles everywhere and about, wherever they may be, and we have no sidewalks, so they go up on top of the sidewalks. I'm not complaining, and as far as I'm concerned, having a no sidewalk all around my property is a blessing. I'm not complaining about that. I am complaining strongly and vehemently about these trucks parked about the community. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Guinasso, that's a very good amendment. I'd also ask you if we could also add junk to that. As
Absolutely,
far as
absolutely.
junk
And that,
truck goes.
again, is so distasteful to see someone's vehicle parked on where you live, and you invite your neighbors and you invite guests to your home, and you see a truck parked with junk in it. You're right, absolutely, I would love to have that added to the amendment. Thank you, Mr.
We'll
Chairman.
add that, thank you. Councilor Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, first of all, welcome Councilor Morabito. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just reiterate that this is long overdue. This is something that we should be certainly doing as a community to help alleviate a lot of the stresses of parking on the streets, especially in the small neighborhoods. Having commercial vehicles parked for long periods of times. At times, we see people taking home vehicles, whether it's a Comcast truck, parking and taking up street parking for the residents that own homes in that area. So this is long overdue. The only few questions I have, and hopefully we can get the answers to, is there will be some clearly identifiable permitting on the car. So if we are receiving phone calls, or if the city's getting phone calls, at least the residents can tell if that vehicle has a permit for the year. And just making sure that the enforcement is happening, because if there's anything that could be bad, is residents get upset when we have regulations and we have rules of order, and we have all these ordinances, but if they're not enforced, they're not worthwhile. So I would ask that we strongly encourage, when this does go into implementation, I want to say right on the middle of the year, that it's strongly enforced. Overnight, it's strongly enforced. We have an employee now. If we have to double up on that and get another employee, or if the police have to get more heavily involved, but we need very strong enforcement on this ordinance in order to give it the life that it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Keefe. Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make an amendment to the full council that we remove Section 3 from the proposed motion before it goes to the Traffic Commission and Public Safety, because of further studies that we need to do with the Traffic Commission and the Commission on Disabilities.
That's Section 6.
No,
Is
it's
that correct?
it's Section 3.
Oh, okay, I got Section
Yeah,
6 here.
no, I know, it was a mistake, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Anybody else?
Just point.
Go ahead,
I have a
Councilor
question.
Morabito.
So there'll be a subtraction of Section 3, so when we vote, there'll be no Section 3, and later on, upon the Traffic Commission's advice, we'll add it back in? Yes. Or, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I just have, it has become a big problem here in the city, commercial vehicles. What I see over the years here is that you'll see more people working, doing business out of their houses, and so you have, like Guinasso says, you'll have 3 or 4 more vehicles at one. Is there any section in this ordinance that it's a violation? I know it's a violation to run a business out of your house, but I've dealt with that with the building inspection services without much success. But is there any about having a certain number of commercial vehicles? Go ahead, you can answer that.
Can I address
Madam
you,
Clerk.
Chairman? Yeah, there is a zoning ordinance on the books that only allows for 1 commercial vehicle per residential property over a certain size. So if there are more than 1 vehicle registered out of a home that is over the 1-ton size, then that becomes a building department issue at that point.
Okay, so that would be part of this too, or no?
No, that
No,
ordinance is
that's part of
already
another-
on the books. However, this ordinance says that only 1 vehicle may be permitted per residential address. So
Okay.
if someone has more than one vehicle, they're not going to be able to park that additional vehicle on the street.
Sounds good. Okay, I guess that's it. Welcome Councilor Powers here tonight, this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so this will go with the amendments to the meeting tonight. It will go forward to the Traffic Commission, and I think it works its way back to us. You know, it's up to the Traffic Commission to make these changes. So that, oh, hold on, one more, Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's only one more thing that I want to add when we forward it to the Traffic Commission. I also want to have them just look at the options for emergency vehicles, because there are people that operate emergency vehicles and bring them home, so that they would be exempt from such ordinance if it was, a state police vehicle or a police vehicle, a tow truck, any sort of emergency service vehicle, because that would be considered a commercial vehicle. So I want to make sure that emergency service vehicles like that are providing first responder services would be just
Okay,
whatever
well,
the Traffic Commission
no,
looks
that's-
into that. Just a thought.
That's a good thought. Go ahead, Councilor Guinasso.
That's a great thought, but in the process, there's going to be people who take advantage of that. Now, Comcast is inundating our whole city with their vehicles because they find that this is the proper thing to do. They have no place to park them. So they could also be classified as emergency. So we have to really spell out what we mean by emergency.
What if we just
I-
first responders?
First responders, and I don't know of many that take home ambulances and stuff like that, so.
So no, so
so-
basically you're at the state, actually just state police or police officers. And firemen,
A tow truck? You want a tow truck parked on your street?
No.
I don't think so. I don't think that's what we're looking for
What?
here.
I would agree as well, and I do understand that tow trucks can be very important when it comes to an emergency, but there are a lot of tow lots in the area that there's plenty of, there'll be plenty of quick response with the neighborhood tow companies. I think that it's common sense. If there's a state police vehicle parked on the street, I highly doubt that we're going to throw a slap a $50 ticket on it. And so I'm not necessarily nervous or worried that any police vehicles will get tagged or towed. But, so I'm not sure what first responder vehicles there really would be that we'd be concerned about.
Still something you should look at.
say again?
So I just believe it's still something you should look at. If you're going to make an ordinance on the book and you're going to enforce it, there should still be just some investigation.
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
something we can discuss at the Traffic Commission meeting. So we'll keep that for, we won't put that in for the change today. Okay. Did you want to say something, Councilor Powers?
Mr.
Quick
Chair,
here,
yeah,
we're
just-
out of time here.
Just a question. I got here a little late. What about our own DPW vehicles that, for a water break, sewer break, or something like that? Somebody has to take that home and have it available, so if there's a...
Those, as far as I know, those aren't commercial plates. Those are state plates, emergency response plates. And I think that's equivalent to even police. They use state plates. It's a different, so I don't think we really have to worry about that either.
Okay, that's fine, as far as I'm concerned.
We're not going to do anything on that right now. So I believe that's it for public safety. And, okay, that's the end of the public safety meeting. We'll go to the DPW meeting. Just one last thing before we do end the meeting. We're going to take a vote on the on proving this out in favor. We'll take a roll call. Okay, thank you.
Councillor Guinasso, on the motion as amended?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Keefe?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. And Chairman Patch?
Yes.
Yes. The motion will be forwarded onto the full city council as amended.
Okay, thank you. Good day.